Hello everybody, I am Tashi, and I am here with Quill.
Hi. Do you want to talk about last night?
No, there's nothing to
Okay.
talk about. There was no electricity, I couldn't do anything.
Nothing to see here, folks. Show's over.
Nothing to see, especially for me, because I couldn't see anything, it was dark.
Was it really down for 12 hours? Precisely? Or, I don't know if you were
No,
measuring it
it's
that carefully.
a little bit more, but
Oh, more. Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, that happened. We don't know how much time, this many hours of maintenance is gonna be like double or something.
Is your goods in your fridge still good?
Yeah, that wasn't anything that would be frozen out.
Alright.
So, Mysterious Green Pony. Let's have that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I have no idea who she is, but she clearly doesn't belong here.
Insofar as music's concerned, the title pretty much gives you a good clue of what the content is basically about. Like, not multi-battles or anything that tense, but, just conversations.
So let's choose all the battle teams, right?
Yeah. Play it hardcore.
Because it is very tech savvy, I'm assuming. I also assume that this is a Magi as well.
Well, it's definitely dialogue heavy for this chapter.
So I would actually use Pathtoon's theme if I can find it. I like it. I know. There we go. Let's start. Part 8 Multi Conversations. That is true. Along with the newly created Mysterious Green Unicorn Mare, are flying through the air at unbelievable speed, and she is singing I Can Show You the World for some reason. Yet curiously, they do not feel the momentum at all. All of the inertia of their flight seems curiously cancelled for some standing on the disc. Them, they almost feel like they are beholding a virtual image of motion all around them, but without any of the actual gravity to prove it. I mean, they can't even prove that they are moving at all. The visual side of motion alone, though, makes some who sat on the disc did it from the bathing room. I mean, yeah, that happens. And it happens for a lot of people who use VR headsets.
I actually went to a theme park, which was the old Western thing of all things, but inside there was this one hallway that we went to, which didn't seem to thematically match the park at all, but it was spinning as you proceeded down this bridge.
Nah.
And yeah, it really quickly makes you dizzy as you pay attention to that. You'd be seeing all that motion throughout your eyes and peripheral vision. Like the right side going down, the left side going up.
Can you remember this seemed to be much more calmer, but Let's go for this. There you go. Even more calm.
Anyway, we were done with that paragraph.
Let's look at the take off. Let me start to rise in consciousness. Or she's not fully there yet. So the candy tender is monitoring her the wall-eyed mare as she awakens. Oh yeah, the game man doesn't even know that Duffy has wall-eyes. So she might actually think that, it's because of the damage that she's taken in the fight.
That's possible.
So far, only Duffy is unaware how tiny development is clinging to surroundings right for life in all four of his hind legs. All four of his legs, nothing like hanging around her. Perfect child routine? Immediately.
There was something like that with the sloth that was hugging one of Fluttershy's legs. And Fluttershy leans in. But picture someone like that with much greater desperation. Yeah. I'll tell you what though, Scooby looks happy in that shot.
Yeah, for some reason it reminded me.
Now, Shaggy's squinting like, you're too heavy. I'm about to drop you. Ah! Actually, yeah. The dog appears like he would be heavy. That's almost big enough to be a small horse. Scooby, that is.
Yeah?
If he was realistic, how much do you think he would weigh? Because that actually, I think, appears larger than a Great Dane would normally be.
I would say around 30 to 50 kilos.
Okay.
So yeah, we know that Sky is actually pretty strong to maybe lift him.
He's got that going for him, for sure, yeah.
This is so small and she is so large, it makes it look like he's hanging onto something about the size of a medium tree trunk compared to him. As he does so, he remembers through the injury she suffered. They are fresh on his mind. This is intensified by his experience, conjuring the thought of how he would feel as a Padawan death, which in turn adds more weight to his sorrows. You were right, Serving. He was dangerous, or she. We don't know. Serving, she understands why he feels this way, in light of the recent experiences. In a way, she starts too, because she knows the source of his sorrows now is a sign of how much he loves her. But, in another way, this is a bit irritating to her too. She thinks that he will need to develop a thicker hide about this concept, because she plans on being in the front line as much as possible. Part of her is haunted by the notion that if anyone else in this party has been struck with the same force that she suffered too, then the other party probably would not have gotten back up as soon as she did. Maybe daring. Perhaps not ever. You know, she's the toughest in this party, and to her, she was not doing her job. Something she got her cutie mark for. Something to be proud of. I was a wall. That said, she's not monotheistic either. If she can avoid getting hurt at all by stabilizing everyone else, then so much the better. That means she will be able to remain on the front lines longer. Yeah, if you don't take damage, then you can stay in the front lines.
Right.
That is why in Final Fantasy one of the best defensive characters had no defense at all. They had high dodge rate.
I don't know if you played Final Fantasy VI, but it seemed to me one of the most defensive characters in the game could actually be Shadow, especially if you equipped him with a Zephyr Cape and a very good shield. Then he could dodge because of the relic, because of the shield, because of his own high evasion stats, and the fact he's the only character with a dog that can also block attacks. And if he does, he might counterattack too, with anything that's on the ground.
I mean, that is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
When she felt that hit, it was his turn to remain down, while Dr. Kelly was busy healing her. They also did a good job, and it's good to know that Sun can rely upon such assistance later on too, if necessary. But everything she has and went through makes her all the more desperate to someday get the martial arts training that Dying Blue has. Oh, I was like, since when not Nerfy has it, but it's Dying Blue, not Nerfy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't know, Nerfy might have some get martial arts training as well.
That would be very unlikely. She would not, because of her vision problems, she could be extremely uncoordinated with that. Most likely. But if she got good, then she might get good in a weird way, able to look in two separate directions and expertly defend both directions. Plus, like Daring, she's a Pegasus, so Derpy can fly. Therefore, doesn't have to use her legs to stand on the ground.
Did you say uncoordinated?
I did.
It's hard to dodge when you don't know where he's attacking.
Anyway, you did not finish that sentence.
Yeah. The Dying Blue. The martial arts training that Dying Blue has, for both offensive and offensive purposes. If she can dodge or block the blows, then she can hold the front lines better. And if her offense is more refined, then she can down her opponent faster, so that they don't even get as much of a chance to damage her party. I mean, yes, this opponent martial arts training would not have done anything, but
Well, maybe. I still think it could help, but not quite as much. Defensive martial arts might help you to avoid or block some of the blows from the creature. And in terms of offense, you might sting a little harder, but you're dealing with alien physiology, so it's less familiar how you move to combat that opponent offensively and defensively.
yeah.
And it has other weird abilities too. In this particular case, it had like some kind of acidic breath.
You can't hit a fighting at it.
And you have to fight it carefully too. It had a lot of spikes along its spine and across all of its back.
Kind of reminds me of a Grim though.
It's kind of like a teardrop shaped caterpillar almost, but it has tentacles off the side that end in claws. Now that almost looks like a werewolf.
It is a werewolf. So almost, yeah.
Yeah. Well, perhaps you were talking about the creature's behavior?
Yeah?
You'd not be far off, actually.
God knows she's working with a lot of raw potential. But the sheer idea it could be better is like it's been in her mind. That the potential is so frustrating to her, because potential important on future methods. Yeah, when you start the game and you know how strong your character is gonna be, and you feel like, it's so weak now.
That's kind of like a character with very high natural stats but very low character level, because she's not fully trained in anything yet.
Yeah.
She could be amazing someday, but right now there's a lot of potential there that's not fully realized.
Or when you see the list of skills that you are gonna get, but all of them are low because you are not high level yet.
Right. In
Uh,
this party right now, the Daring Do probably is the highest level character.
Yeah. In this party, yeah. No. The King Mare is the highest level.
Well, she might be. We've not established much about her yet. I'd be amazed if you guessed her name correctly.
No, I won't even try. That's impossible at the moment.
Fair enough.
That also knows her blue friend, emotional capacity. That is one of the reasons he dropped out of Wonderbolt Academy. They had a rigid structure that was conducive to his flighty nature. But such things should have been expected in a military structure like that. The fact that the aim was also showmanship really is a poor fit for Pony who is naturally shy. There's nothing the immediate father shy. Working with teams was important back then, and it's all the more important while adventuring now. Yeah, right I know. He's very aware that he also comes from aristocratic background. It can handle certain types of pressure, but really social one of high society. Generally speaking, though, they don't otherwise tend to get their hooves dirty. So, she has to admire his willingness to come this far. Remember, you are talking about the pony who went outside to the nature to be alone.
For about 8 moons.
Yeah? That said, there is still room for progress here, and it is important for those traits and skills to be developed soon. Until then, it is somewhat a security risk, in addition to being a major potential asset. Oh yay! So not only the face the security risk, but your own boyfriend is. I mean, at this moment, I wouldn't even go as far as he would say no if Fatherman would confess to his feelings at the moment. That, yeah, no, I don't want to be your girlfriend now because you would be more of a security risk, and I have to protect you even more.
Well, it's not about that. The
I know.
personal feeling story is quite different, but she's also the kind of character who looks for security risks, so that she's be aware of it and perhaps on guard against it, and also aware what could use improvement and therefore should get training, concentrated training to improve. If you're never aware of the problem in the first place, you probably wouldn't do anything to try to help it.
So, Trouble and Sterling literally doing the same thing. They are searching for security risk. For different reasons.
Probably. Yeah, Stern is not doing this for entertainment. This is all about serious business.
This is literally a flaw of Sterling. It's an asset as well, but also a flaw.
Okay.
But nobody claims her to be perfect. And like she is really good raw iron, but it has yet to be fully refined into a more useful form.
Right now, you could probably think of various flaws for all the characters in the party.
Yeah? Except Duffy. She is flawless.
Well, hence the blush in her picture. Like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
She is well aware that applies to herself as well in different ways. From a psychological standpoint, Dr. Kelly is musing much of the same about her fellow party members. She studied an experience as she gets to observe them relaxed and under pressure in a different time. In her estimation, she has a good grasp on the emotional baseline now, including their new, which just helps to keep her up when they are off kilter. And the observation she makes that informs her they need some psychological assistance becomes at least those to serve for her. And they are checking the notes. Her notes is like, they are all crazy.
It didn't occur to me until later chapters how much I used the word though in the middle of the sentence. Eventually, I started to try to trim down on that, but yeah, it's still around here.
It's fine. Well, man, no. That you do my attention on it. Give me a turn.
1001.
For the moment though, she is also aware that there is a new observer here who is actually heading the story. In turn, wants for the observation herself. Understand with Pedalwin's special trauma, he just can wait just a little longer until he gets more of a positive moment of privacy. He will need to be in a more relaxed setting to discuss and decompress from this stress. Next turn, Dr. Kelly also agreed with the idea. While this pain is there, because she interviewed him earlier, in which he discussed certain elements about his background. So this was literally like the Big Bang episode.
The next paragraph is the first lines of dialogue spoken in this whole chapter.
Can I talk now? The new young adult gamer request. And this is the first time we have actual timeline of how old she is. Because all we know that she was a Kane.
I thought you were about to say this is the first spoken dialogue she said, and I would have corrected you if that was the case. But no, you mentioned the age. Yeah, you're right. That is the first time.
She also opened the script. No, she literally told them to get on the thing.
Right. Now, however, they had a longer time to observe her more closely, so it makes more sense that the characters there, like the TARDIS adventurers, were able to get more detailed information by now.
Yeah?
They're not as stressed, they're not as rushed.
So let's see about her. She openly looks curious, to the point of being giddy with excitement. But she also looks confused and concerned. She raises her eyes beside her and literally shakes with excitement as she asks, "You all actually fought with the creature? Against 4 chaos creature? Oh wow! You all must be really strong." We are having another Ruby crossover.
As a matter of fact, with that personality, she actually closely resembles Ruby herself.
No, I'm pretty sure this almost the same line as the class for chaos creature part was actually said in Ruby. That you actually fought this creature?
Okay. would is there a different terminology they would have instead of chaos creature though?
They don't have classes for the Grim.
Right. Class for grim creature? Or
No,
what did you say class for grim?
they don't have classes.
Okay.
There is certainly room for improvement. Something applies in a intermittently, but I did not look down at her. Kind friend, who is definitely seeking to right falling right now. But that said, any matter we can throw away from, I refuse to call it a loss. I mean, it's not a loss you won. Wait,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Kind of.
they held up their own. The green creature actually officially defeated it.
Creature?
The I don't know, how would they call it? The chaos beast thing. The worm creature thing.
Oh,
Also, Darren did defeat it earlier in the battle until trouble augmented it.
it wasn't defeated, it was just going into phase 2.
Right, the next phase of the boss battle. Now it's a raid boss.
That's 4 chaos creature? Dr. Kylie reiterates. You have in these creatures to categorize them? Yeah, and I assumed this whole area is a natural engagement to what has was trouble in. It's not natural, I would
Right.
assume.
That's pretty informative right there, that paragraph. This green mare is familiar enough with the species to classify it, means it's not an isolated incident. Despite all that harmony that's crossed this land, this kind of trouble appears often enough to make it worth making a classification for it.
Yeah, that's why when she appeared, I thought immediately that this is not just a random planet with full of harmony. No, this is a kind of a prison for trouble. And they are actually looking out for what's happening there. She appeared very fast.
A few paragraphs above, you also establish the fact that she is very surprised and impressed with the party for holding themselves out that long.
Yeah. Especially without the Pokemon technology that she has.
Yeah, that would have helped.
And now we are having another crossover. Is this Panic? He's
Next
collecting all.
Next time, Trouble will twist her cap to face backwards, and then chuck a Pokeball.
I mean, that can happen.
To either catch or release something. Something random, I choose you!
I think when we stopped reading, I literally got her like a forest ranger or something. In a manner of speaking, the game replied in the more subdued tone. I was merely out on a scouting mission. I was specifically looking for such a creature, but such a thing is among those I was ordered to keep a note of. Normally this is something I would refer to the authority. I have heard that name before.
You know what? I don't say this for sure, but I suspect something like that could have appeared in Doctor Who as well. It would
Yeah, and
not surprise me at
that's
all.
what I'm pretty sure that was a thing. I just don't know where. But now, but this time I didn't have enough time. So that tells me that she didn't have time because she rushed to the scene to have them. And to check out what's happening with the chaos. They probably have a radar on the area that chaos happening here. Let me see actually. If you mean to say that the author is not a reference to Doctor Who,
If you make a general search for it, you'll probably come up with several results.
no, that's actually a comic. A superhero comic.
Oh, neat.
And it's DC. For some reason, right?
By its name, it seems like an opposite force to chaos.
Yeah, and it's a whole team.
Okay.
I have not had it. I just had it I just saw the title before. But in fact, I still haven't yet. The crowd and the attachment leaves an outline floating when you come with the panel. I may get in trouble with that later on for delaying this long when the subject is important. The authority then records from the procreating. Yeah, I remember more leaning towards lab assistant / forest ranger who has someone higher up. And we know he not have.
Yeah, it's starting to seem like that so far.
This guy was almost about to enter in the same thing, but then he meet her to it. This is a flashing gas of the Tukali, daring for a moment, but her gaze returned to the game bar, a Shadspot. Oh, it's a military group that has enough the power. Oh. What's going over the matter like this? To get recalled answers. Only in the last 50 years was a group like this even necessary. But when there is a rise of chaos creatures like that, so the initiative has to be made of. And also re-centralized, so trouble is getting stronger. I beg your pardon, Parliament, but I require your attention now. It's your voice to Parliament that I didn't expect to hear. In the stage or the doctor? It can be both. Because Father I can say the doctor as well because Father has the wind hearing. But wait, they are in an enclosed environment, so it has to be crystal.
It's certainly one of those.
No, they are in a dome. The wind wouldn't be able to get in here.
Yep, they don't even feel the inertia of their movement.
Yeah? It's a prize for the wind's head and ears perk up, and the yellow eyes pop open. Oh yeah, if someone has any information about the authority, then must be Crystal Sage. who has the whole library. And this is the past, so
Sure. Well, the library that's any information that was in the Crystal Empire.
yeah. And the Crystal Empire is not, so who knows? They might have
Right.
more
Well,
information.
nevertheless, his time period is way, way ahead of this time period.
Yeah, that's why I said that. There were definitely historians back then as well.
So yeah, it's possible that he might know something about this.
Look at this ancient weapon we found. I wonder if a laser gun.
Mhm.
He uses his left hand. To hand. But I say hand. He uses his left and that is the way I put his side of his stage. Standing there beside him. Just menacingly. And looking down at him. It's like crystal in the crystal mind place in the red crystal. The very dark crystal zone is wearing nothing. Other than a very low scarf. You'll see that this is not 18 plus anything sorry.
You know, that scarf wouldn't have helped with the thinner oxygen, but it would have helped with the cold. Because it was listed in that story as that scarf was enchanted specifically to give heat, to warmth in a cold environment.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that very low scarf is actually fluttering in the wind that is not happening.
like Celestia and Luna's hair, right?
Yeah? And also
Actually, maybe like Somber himself a little bit. I kind of vaguely recall some iterations of him when his mane flickers like black flame.
maybe like his helmet.
Okay.
That was all the joke in that game that even the character himself as how is your helmet doing that? There's no way.
Does it stay behind him even if he turns his head?
No, it's literally fluttering
Okay.
in the game,
But
but
would it flutter behind him even if he turns his head?
probably yes, but it definitely
Okay.
turned it. What?
There was a cheap magical item in D&D that had a similar function. It was just called the Cape of Billows.
I got to minute though. Just jumped in.
So cute. Go ahead.
What? What? Men almost please I'll take it to say, got him up. By the way, okay, not unicorn does that. They know. Continue to interview the new kid unicorn. Use your mind, Adorment.
Don't mind if I do. Okay.
Use the force.
You have always underestimated my power.
My mind power. Use your mind, Adorment. This is a command. I'm communicating to you from the Red Crystal, of which you are turned to enough to permit me this ability. I am projecting a virtual image of myself here, so I can interact with you, but nobody else can see or hear me. And then the game looks at the crystal stage and asks, and who would you be?
If she does that, I can tell you you'd probably be surprised.
Then you stand corrected. Oh, it's scanning. I was like... The scanning method are used. Actually, not the observed crystal stage. Oh yeah, the scanning I took to the crystal as well.
She did. Not
Action.
intentionally, but she did.
The action automatic was is most standard of God. Who is holding this mental fashion? There is no checks with the green bar. My father, Crystal Sage, and the Totality have their own secret conversation. For the matter, who are you? They said the thing! They said the thing! And the doctor isn't here. Right? Oh, I'm sorry. The green bar exclaimed in an embarrassment. Where are my manners? He then yelled to herself. I'm sorry, I left my manners in actually saving your sorry ass from the chaos beast. My name is Margaret Vessel. I would have not guessed that.
Yeah, that's why I would have been surprised.
And I am what you might call a field research scientist. Yeah, so a forager. More like a petit of one. What did I say about the lab assistant?
As I mentioned earlier, I had a feeling that more of your predictions than usual is going to be actually accurate in this story.
Also, when you say Margaret. One character comes to mind immediately.
But one who's not named Wessel at the end, right?
No.
There you go.
You might actually know her as well.
I actually do. Yeah.
You do seem young. Also, we might actually come to this, she might actually be just herself. And this might not be her real body. You do seem young. I do agree to Margaret. That's a strange name, Tommy mentioned. For the time I've encountered before. And speaking of names, Tommy used the ring to gesture herself. My name is Tommy, and this is my father's friend, Tommy. As he introduces that home, he transfers a gesture down to him. No, I was imaging. My name is Tommy, and this, the one hanging from my leg, is Feather. You can mentally communicate with us? He said aloud, are you sure? Sage? Remember, there are people pulling around here. You shouldn't speak aloud if you are protecting yourself.
They're not supposed to be able to see or hear him, but for some reason, Dr. Kelly does.
Ha ha ha, there goes your secret. you can't just talk privately anymore. That means you are still attuned to the crystal, huh? Yeah, that's almost like riding a bicycle, you will never forget. Or like when you are using an earbud on your phone and you pair it. From the bottom of the chin, totally. This started to look more and more like you might be an excellent relative of my family. For the lord of my bloodline should be able to perfectly attune to this crystal. Isn't it that or the method I've employed? The Kalimantan exploded is an alternative. But he is very adept at attempting to make crystals. And said no, I am well aware there are some that can be more picky. I may have to take a closer look at following the DNA sample compared to my own. I might actually be one of her daughters. Granddaughters or something like that. It may have to get a genetic compatibility. It's a stage of turns in which you are moved down to the last force field world, as he said. I am projecting myself in this projection. In any case, this is noteworthy since that you also means you too can master communicate to each other through this crystal. And that's why you two, why the two of you are close proximity to it. So, there are now probably 3 ponies who can talk to Crystal Sage at the moment.
Okay, why?
Because the mission is also one of them.
You
No,
said
she's not
sea
here.
pony?
Mission.
Sea pony? SEA?
No, I said the mission is also one of them who can talk to Crystal Sage. Or at
Okay.
least feel that he is here. At least.
Well, yeah, she is empathic.
I'm saying no. Like introduces to Morgan. And those 2 men over there are not fuels and the Sky Center. I'm gonna laugh if the higher authority that Margaret meets is gonna be a morning pony. The same long note.
Okay.
A pleasure to meet you all. Or yes, separately. At first, then her expression seems to concern, and she goes, left me. Is she alright? No. I'm going to take her condition, don't worry. The quality is Morgan. I don't pay attention to what the rest can see on the phenomenon. I think okay, they say they are looking in the direction, but nothing is. He said like this because of the method that I do have at the Morgan. And kinda is. Because that was part of a matter, I would assume. That is why the matter happened. Then you can find the Morgan. It happened to her, because when she died with a bunch of Karen. You actually met the Karen for an exclamation. Indeed, they compared with the little eyebrow. Is that her? Wait, didn't they know about the Karen? That they are rare and not to themselves to begin with?
Well, yes, rare in her time. She isn't as certain about this one. To this particular mare.
Usually, as well, the kids are elusive and amazing faces. They are very picky about who they choose to manifest their photo. Not long ago, they used to be regarded as a myth, a legend among my time. The Earthbound below came to have a closer association with them, which we have already recently verified. The Earthbound, the mother. You know what I mean, right?
I think I do, yeah.
The smallest game of all. There you go.
You know,
I still haven't played it.
It's still true, but wait a minute. Maybe I did a little bit, but I I also seen someone else play another version of it. That was that game, but it was ponyfied with My Little Pony characters. Still didn't see very far into the game.
You might actually mean this one.
Probably, yeah.
It is actually a real thing. Benjamin looks amazed with Crystal Sage's explanation. But the Kelly is in Japan. She is accustomed to the technology and ability. Nevertheless, she is well aware she can do this in the majority of the party. And the fact that she is not aware that she can do this without a win is noteworthy. This actually makes my job easier. Crystal Sage, I want to do that. I want to see more of you anyway. He said to Dr. Kelly. Sure, you sure. You can't really measure to more than the Magi. Wait, is that how you say Magi?
No, it's not. I have occasionally spelled it that way, but it's supposed to be G.
Oh, like, wait,
kind
like, missing my mind?
it's actually wrong in multiple places here too. So go ahead and fix that. Go ahead.
No, it's, Dr. Kelly really measures more than the Magi Doctor. In what the rapid condition. That looks like at Crystal Stage. As she went to listen. I will be happy to help, and in any way I can. How can I help you today? Crystal Stage lit the roof, as he said. Before I get to that, I have a question for you. Is anything about what you have, or is it a concept familiar to you in any way? Namely the medical technology this new young man here is employing. Actually, yes, I have made an observation to carry my answer. And I was going to bring the up later, and we have a better moment of privacy. What better moment of privacy you have other than actually no one else being able to see and hear you? Really? And I would mentally ask Dr. Kelly in astonishment. So you think this man here is a fellow Magi? Dr. Kelly shakes her head sadly. Asking what I said. I think it's confirmed yet. I just have a suspicion. Will you interface with her technology using your magic? Mr. Sage checks with Dr. Kelly. Yes, she would, but she would have an access denied, probably. I suspect I can, but it might not be just prudent or polite or try it now with permission. Dr. Kelly replied. I'm not sure if I even want to ask, so if I knew that you could tip her off, I might be able to do that. I don't see it wholly necessary for her to be aware of that this time. Yeah, it's a wise thing to know, to hide the fact that you can take this vehicle from them when you have to run. When it comes to that time, when the authority is trying to put them in jail or something. A wise precaution, Mr. Sage agreed. A better opportunity for that might come about later, when you are less observed. Then, it may become vital that we get an answer for that question about at some time. Forgive me for asking this, but what are any of you to this time? Or even this entire world? Morgan asked, you present curiously. Okay, Our questions have been answered. Any of you noticed this time? Meaning she is a time traveler as well. Because no...
Or at least aware of it.
No, I said it earlier that this is way too much higher technology.
Right.
Than what we have seen. Or once again, we know that this world is just a different place. I know if it's just an area enclosed or the whole planet is a natural environment that they are monitoring from another planet. Because they magic can do that. I mean, that happened with the multiverse as well, right? And other creatures were being monitored from outer space. Do you get visitors from other worlds and times regularly? And do reflect. Regularly? No! Forget answered, and they all continue to fly through the air, releasing at a very high speed. The landscape below them is really shifting, but it is possible through the puffy and gorgeous looking clouds. But it has occurred enough to make me wonder. I observed some of those travelers from distance, and others are also recorded in their computer as well. Observe some of those creatures from a distance and recorded in our computers. This literally says to me that they are observing this planet and trying not to get in touch too much, unless it is necessary.
Which is what the Magi did. However, she did shrink the Chaos Beast. So if you're going to go with the theory that this is the Magi, then she's reacting like the Chaos Beast is not native to the world, and therefore has some authority to do something about it.
I mean, we know it is not part of the world. It was created by Campbell.
It certainly looks that way, yeah.
So yeah, one of those things too. The big question marks with a visible eye. One of what? I got a questioning. Also, she's super familiar with her own technology. It doesn't occur to her it might be changed to another. Never mind that. They said with a dismissive beam. Oh, no, she means shut up, Charlie. I would like to return our attention to more critical issue. You said we encountered a class 4 chaos creature. And you've encountered another like its egg. Please tell me if you are familiar with the reason this creature exists. Were they forged from a creature that can appear and disappear as well? A floating cat-like creature, the torso of an iguana and... Do you mean to tell me that you actually met Trouble? But it also is horrified, but also facilitated astonishment. Another possibility in this conversation, I found silent for a brief moment. Meanwhile... No, I said it in more tone. Is it... Meanwhile...
Yep.
I think I can see where you're going with this. The amount of mentions that is the same. But I would like to verify it if you don't mind. Why are you so interested in this technology? I can look since you can change his print of face. And stand up to Kennedy. It isn't just this technology that I'm interested in. I'm also interested in yours because it is almost the same. There is a phenomenon, not a phenomenon. I believe it is within my power to download a sample of each to create magical gemstones. Look back at her. With your permission, of course. Alright. We literally have a crystal stage. I kind of forgot about that his whole personality is based about gemstones. Yeah! Crystal!
He was the original personality of Sombra, so yes, of course, he's very intimately familiar with that kind of stuff. But her technology is very similar to what his knowledge base is aware of. So he's thinking he may actually have some compatibility with it too.
Yeah?
And she's got some spells that he might not be so familiar with. Such as the scanning spell or the healing spell.
Yeah? You better believe she got something from her team.
Probably teleportation too. She said she could do that. And spellcasting through gems is her primary method of spellcasting.
Yeah?
Even for something as basic as telekinesis. That's how her race evolved.
And it is easier to use a tool.
Right.
Just look how much different it is when you are far away from the television, just pressing a button, or you have to stand up, get to it, and press a button. We can literally say that in the difference between unicorn magic and magic magic.
I like the convenience, but there is something about modern televisions I'm starting to complain about. There are televisions that just outright require a remote in order to work at all, because so many of the buttons are missing from the set itself. Therefore, if you lose the remote or the batteries are dead, you're screwed. You can't use that television that much.
I mean, nowadays, if you lose the remote, you can just download a remote for your phone and work it.
I was about to say that. Yeah, that was an interesting alternative, but you're going to have to, even with the phone, find the right signal, because they can have different, I don't know what it is, RF signals or something.
Yeah.
I also remember in my youth, universal remotes, where you have to enter a code or search through one thing at a time to find out if does this interact with the television? Does this interact with the television?
Yeah,
And
but
then you stop with the one that works.
yeah, but it worked. After all. I mean, that is about the same technology as how the phone version works.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get back to this.
Go ahead.
You plan to share the resonance frequency of each of these stones and download a copy of them into the system. So you are trying to use all of the remotes and see which one is working. From the mechanics, educated guess. First of all, yes, you have my permission. Second of all, to what end? Everything where you might be going with this. If I can download a copy of your magic gem, I may be able to obtain their magical energy signature. It's a stage next to the mechanic that looks at and speaks to the wind. If I have that, it might be possible to train you to use magic technology, and to use the magic crystal as a focus point. After all, you kind of have a space where you can train for unlimited time.
Oh yeah.
So you are not accidentally said. That is what I figured. Those crystal actually acts in a very similar manner of my native types, magic crystal computers. In fact, if it was for the fact that I'm aware you used to be a biological intelligence, I would have otherwise called you artificial intelligence. I mean, it kind of is the case at the moment. But you came to many of who operate my home one. This is nearly not empty. And I mean they are huge, leading to movement comparison. On this mode, it depends on two sides jump into competition between interface and logicality. Keyboard, as still is, also presents keyboard. Yeah, and also logicality is talking to multiple directions at the same time.
Right.
I am still amazed at people who can do that.
Yeah, me too, but I'm aware they exist. By a similar token, I once saw a stand-up comedian who actually did this. He had put a whiteboard in front of him and had a marker on both hands and was making two different pictures with both hands simultaneously.
It actually just made me laugh because he said, yeah, there are multiple hands. Good morning, guys.
That was probably a mistake if I said that.
But yeah, I have seen people who are like working literally on two phones and then also talking to someone in front of them.
Minor spoiler, and it hardly really matters, but I actually have another character in a different story here that was able to type on two different computers coherently with both of them.
Yeah. Maybe it is Morgan. Is there much left? No. Actually. Yes and no. I would say around 30 minutes. 30-40 minutes.
Well, depends how fast we go through this.
Yeah. But I'm telling him because we are gonna go play Ace Attorney later on.
Okay.
It's somewhat apt actually. It's a thing agreed with the impact that and the quality. I haven't been magical for a very long time now. I'm just a memory. I'm impressed upon the crystal. The logic in the past mechanism. Wait, time out there. Something across with a little ring in halting gesture. He said only after recovering from Morgan's insistent question. I think you mean trouble and the name of the curlicus we have encountered and not discovering some problematic solution. Yeah? The curlicus. Morgan said first questioningly, then not with uncertainty. Yeah? I think so. Usually you also to describing identifies herself by the name Trouble. So it is female. I mean, this is not concrete evidence. Still, knowing the class discrepancy, let's make sure I ring into left or left. I knew it. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it would be both female and male at the same time.
Probably could be, yeah. Or maybe neither.
Yeah? I mean, there are little creatures in real life that can change the gender on demand.
Right, as I was about to say, it could also be either. Like, one thing in one moment and a different thing in the next.
Yeah? So, kind of like an doctor.
She's about as male or female as pure energy could be. Energy that is able to condense itself into a solid form.
It's like, hey, there's his friend, slow him down.
Okay.
More like that much of Anthony. Well, that's correct. Lastly, we are not even sure if it can be identified with labels like gender at all. It can become anything it wants in an instant, and all of it experiencing just as real as fake. So yeah, we were right about that. The important thing to me to note here is that we have some verification on how those creatures were formed. And to bring them. And it seems the purpose for this is pretty typical for a species. To make chaos and disharmony wherever it goes. That was my working theory a long time ago. So understand whether this kind of ways. Wait! Do you mean that you have all encountered other members of the species before? Did this serving meet this Guardian?
No. But something above what Stormy said made Margaret think that she did.
Yeah, that's what I asked. That didn't happen yet. Or as with the rising excitement. Ooh! This means another shake of her product. You have to tell me about it. I have to write all of this down and put it on my next scientific journal. Okay, we are literally going into different. He's acting.
You should bring up a picture of Twilight Sparkle as she says, "For science!"
We are going more into Elizabeth in the personality.
Okay. It's bizarre world then.
Because Margaret was more stoic. Easy there.
I think you missed the paragraph above.
This is the whole community nappy thing. I'm starting to get up. Ah, I don't even know what's going what's for Margaret. If you can't stand the nappy, it's only boy. Easy does it. What happened? Nappy as she gets up, as she shakes her hand, which makes a rattling sound. We don't know where it comes from.
It's like the same harpsichord music you hear every time Rarity speaks.
Huh.
The cartoon effect that comes with her.
What is the last thing you remember? Then the chase will not be costly. I remember getting on the TARDIS. This is not a cautious question. Because she might actually mention the TARDIS. And the Doctor.
I remember turning 2 years old.
I remember going in a flight race and I won against Rainbow Dash. Where are we? The fiasco for the bewilderment, seeming to either ignore or not hear the question yet. This space is strange. Slipping a gaze across what is here, shows I am Margaret, and me. Oh hello! My name is new. But more call me the appeals. She closes her eyes and gives a nice smile. Pleased to meet you. Welcome! She seems oriented enough to carry professional observed. She knows her name, at least, and she knows reacting to manner or consistent with her personality. That's a good sign. The period to carry with my life in confusion. Was there any reason to love that? Oh my god, what's wrong with her eyes? But asking confusion. Wow, rude much? I've been this way for a long time now. Let me admit to a new stranger with much for that. To end up on this way for that move, back and forth, unconsciously. Oh, aren't you adorable? Or a sweet again. Yeah? And I said she is more like Elizabeth in personality. I am? Don't be asked with a mere moment or confusion. It said more madly. Oh, of course I am. What was the last thing you remember? So we reiterate, like the other question. Is she related that it might be important to know? Well, last thing I remember is from when nothing tried to lean back. But she said no, when she noticed a fellow wind suddenly kicking one of Storming's legs. And terrified or something. Oh, I thought he actually let go. Not earlier.
Oh, he's still clinging to her leg, but mentally participating in the conversation with Crystal Sage and Dr. Kelly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When they started commenting that he let go. Oh no? He was thinking that he actually went from the therapy. But not the root cause in this case. It's possible to ask in concern. Are you alright, Pedalman? Yeah! Agreed Morgan as she looked at a small blue unicorn that sailed on Italian on the march. I've been wondering in that as well. You haven't said that much lately.
I think the reason for the name of the chapter is pretty clear by now.
No, it's not.
This chapter is just weaving back and forth between two conversations. Kind of making it seem multi-layered.
He reminds me of them. Don't mind him, he is mute.
Okay.
He can't talk. Did he ever talk? Yet? I don't think he did.
Yeah, in this chapter I don't believe he did. So far.
And I finished this one. So, sorry if I kind of forgot how to speak. But the sounds with a blush, a shy blush. I have an intense day lately. We all have, so agreed. So basically stepping up to find the fans. That much I got, Morgan agrees with a lot. I think a chaos creature is no laughing matter. What's chaos creature? Laughing gaze on concern. What's fighting? I actually was out the whole time. I think you in on that in short order. Wasn't that a name of one of the characters short order? In one of the stories?
Not that it would surprise me, but not that I'm aware of either.
I might be remembering something else.
What would be the cutie mark and profession of a character named Short Order? Now, that could probably be a short short pony. I'm pretty sure.
No.
But if it alludes to the cutie mark and profession too, then
I mean, it could be waiter, for all we know.
Okay.
Or that pony. Then the information the consent and confused Marcel main ma. At first, that's the last thing you remember. The last time I'm asking. This is the third time.
Actually, that's the second time Daring asked. Sternwing also asked.
Yeah? What's the
Put it
third
this way,
time
it's the third time asked of Derpy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I think you should get a plushie of Derpy.
I mean, I have my passion idea.
It also occurred to me if you did do that, it might be something your dogs want to chew on, but it depends what it's made of.
The problem is that they would probably take it apart. I mean, that is why Mona is up there. On the top, so they don't catch it.
You'll never see him coming.
Nope.
There would make a lot of sense for Mona to fear dogs, but probably
I'm not a cat!
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on a minute. Yeah. There a moment. The mic that pops in. Ooh, I think I know. We were all singing together in some kind of crystal cave. You don't call nothing I think with a bunch of Karen? Like checks. What now? The PFA is back in confusion. Oh boy! There you go, right. There's a lot to fill you in. Oh, listen up. I give you the minute version. You fainted. That's the main version. Okay. The PLI is confused and goes to the maze. Once she does that, let me comment by saying what I came here to say. It's the same performance doing the help to love here. Not the phenomenon. Yes, phenomenon. I would like to download to imagine I stole by calling that as the last 5%. But if they are using the 5% that Margaret might notice. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Or at least if she doesn't notice, the technology that she has is gonna alert her about.
You can read on to see why he's proposing this, but at this point, I kind of think you might be able to figure out why.
Yeah. Also that you can learn to get some of those spells get equipped to a person. Imagine the possibility if you were able to get science spells, healing spells, with a computer interface. Imagine if you meet all the potential. You can fly, you can use magic, and you can use even magic.
You notice that he listed that last spell as a spell requiring to use a tool. You cannot use a magic computer without this spell.
I mean, yeah.
It probably helps if you were to learn Magi Tongue too, if you're going to interact with their computers.
I would say that you can use, but with more difficulty.
Probably, yeah.
Because this is that tool towards the virtual computer panel is running. This is now the second time you have encountered this technology, and it's starting to form a pattern. Someday it might become important for you to learn how to interface and interact with this kind of technology, with the doctor's guidance, of course. He learned the myth and gets to learn to study. And now, I have a more of love in my life. Do you think this can be done? a little bit less, surprising excitement and lore. Not only it is possible, but it might become necessary. It's a safe state to follow it. And with the scanning spell, you can download records of not just other creatures' biology. You can also scan books or scrolls, for example, and make a copy of it will appear somewhere within the mind place of the crystal. Ah, so it is literally the same name spell in all the Final Fantasy. Scan.
And if you recall, Featherwind did use that spell later on in Skydancer novel.
Yeah. And you can find out the vulnerabilities of each enemy and you face.
It can be very useful information.
In that case,
Adds to library too.
yeah.
Right.
In this case, you can probably also interface with the operating system of my novel as well. The guy proposed, or keeps a close eye on Luffy. And the game may absorb the confusing, fascinating, and scary information she's learning from the Hindu. Hold on, elementary said with a shake of his head. So he found that gesture and looked down at her friend and wondered why he did that. Yeah, for them he just silent and she said,
Yep.
we might get a stage fellow and ask him. It is also possible we can go the other way around with this too. Maybe we can do an exchange of information here. Those guys can not manage to get within the right place. Before time runs differently there. Let us take a look to Kelly. If able, would you be willing to learn traditional Unicorn magic too? I mean, we have established that magic came from unicorns and they can, in fact, use unicorn magic in the ability too. That's a good question. Mr. Shea agrees. Let's look toward the Kelly as well. Your magical horn too. Certainly, you would actually be capable of it, like the rest of us unicorns. Are you kidding me? I thought you two would never ask. It's kind of meant to reply. Exactly. I should give this another glance by getting the two of them. Yes, by all the stars, please, yes. It's not like this that I was hoping together by telling with the Dark Star. Nothing would please me more than acquiring lost knowledge. My species have been dormant for far too long. Not in the nature of complacency. A major. I mean, I could bring up one picture right here.
And you can do that without necessarily having changed the angle of your camera here. And I'm noticing how much you have to do this one-handed, but you can probably do it.
No, I'm trying to figure out the name of it.
That's a different issue.
Wait. Ah.
It's a pretty long song.
Why is the picture so small?
A little bit jazzy.
There you go. It's a small. I can't zoom in. Because I need to find for that.
That's from Wally, right?
Yeah?
Okay.
Oh, I can a little bit zoom in.
Try red. It's the new blue.
But in the nature of complacency, I mean, right? But I'm not like that. That's why I'm here. I am here. If you're able to tell me international unicorn magic, then call me in. I'm all for it. I'll be glad to teach you to cast some magic style. To cast magic style. And the two of you will teach me how to cast international unicorn magic. The way I have a backup option, just in case my jab somehow become unavailable for any reason. Like if there's any kind of what is it called? There's something I mean there has to be a discipline magic jam as well. Like signal quarter.
Yeah, it isn't as easy to disarm a normal unicorn. I had recently encountered a role-playing game that made the proposition I'm thinking back, I kind of agree with. That there's certain spells that the unicorns that cast so often they can cast it almost innately, like moving a limb. And
Yeah.
still other magics that they have not cast frequently enough that they have to study it or have something of it in order to cast it, like this scroll that allowed Starlight to travel back in time.
Yeah.
They reacted as if they will not have access to that spell without that scroll, because they haven't studied it intimately enough to be familiar with it so much that they basically require the scroll and the magic within. I also remember the time when Starlight invented a new spell. She cast the spell directly at the scroll, and it was as if the scroll cast the spell and finalizing it, which is kind of similar to a Magi gem in a way.
Yeah.
But you can see Dr. Kelly's problem here. You take her gems away, and you take away pretty much all of her spells.
Isn't it?
Now, her advantage is the fact that it can be learned more easily, and sometimes it can also store extra energy, where it might maybe get cast directly from the gem, but then you'll have to recharge it to cast again. It also interacts with Magi technology, and that can get pretty advanced. But if she learns traditional unicorn magic, all she'll need is the... I have seen items and spells that's specific to disable that.
Yeah,
They cast
that's
something
what
like that with walk through. Yeah, they cast something like that as they walk through some kind of portal over at the Equestrian Games, and by multiple mediums, maybe even the show itself, I was familiar with some kind of ring that could put on the horn to disable magic. One more time, one more thing is something Sombra had cast to jam the magic with some crystals in the horn. And
Or
of
you can
course,
just put the poison jar as well. In there.
maybe? I don't know. I can't recall how much it affected Twilight, if she even cast a spell at all
She didn't.
during that time.
She couldn't cast bad.
That would make sense. If she even attempted to do it, I suspect it would at least be sloppy.
I think she tried, but there was nothing coming out.
There was also a time that she got sick with something and she was casting random spells because of it. And I can note at least 2 instances where a horn was completely removed. One was with Tempest Shadow, and the other time was because of Discord, removing horns before they went into the maze.
I mean, Tempest is more than completely removed because the maze was still there.
Right.
And she would still cast spells, but not to control them.
I would say, actually, she was able to cast magic, but not spells. That would be more structured.
Yeah? That's what I said, that she can control it.
Right. That's like ejecting raw, unshaped clay.
Yeah. Once again, I approve. As well. Me. Seriously, I approve.
Okay.
I guess I say as well. Guess I say you replied. Worthy, advice, and the world. It also pleases me that you are so willing to learn and expand your horizons. I didn't think about social anxiety to ignore ignore new knowledge.
The word ignore is actually un-italic, meaning she put that word with emphasis.
Yeah, she's not like other doctors. She is actually for the knowledge, not for
Right.
the money. I mean, especially there, but they don't even need doctors in our planet. Whenever species are dismissing or any serious profession in favor of just rather than playing video games, but my mind hungers for knowledge. I mean, we know very well that even if you constantly play video games, you won't have enough time to play them all.
There was a time that wasn't true. There might have been much less video games produced or much fewer movies in the theaters. I find it fascinating to watch how quickly movies go through the theaters now. That's not what I'm accustomed to, because generally speaking, there's about approximately the same number of theaters in a movie theater. But because there's more movies, they're running them through the whole system much faster. There was a time when like a movie would be playing throughout the whole summer, all 3 months of it. Now it's rare for any movie to last in the theater for like 6 months or so. One of the last ones I can think of that did do that was Puss in Boots 2. Lasted surprisingly long in the theater because of how popular it was.
I mean, I don't usually go to the movies because they don't play English here.
Makes sense, yeah.
And I actually like to watch movies in the original subtitles.
I heard people that said the same thing about Japanese anime. They would actually prefer to listen to it in their native language, even if they can't understand it. They did typically at least like subtitles, though.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Japanese, it can be like the Squid Game. I watch it in Korean language because it's how they spoke.
Yeah. You're not alone in that thinking. Anyway, let's continue. You're almost done.
It will be my pleasure to aid your micro quest, the milady. Suddenly, the Pandora appeared. Orchestra stage.
Okay.
This is inside with a formal and contest move. Bow. That move. The move is the one that you use with an arrow. Oh wow! That makes a sudden look on the face. And I know conclusion. This thing is here! Oh wow! Well, she made that she popped out into the same position. Unknowingly, I said. I didn't know any of that. Well, now you do. They extended a satisfied nod to Duffy. I feel read on the rest of the details later. I answer any questions you have at the time too. For now, he goes Margaret again. I have more questions for you. For example, just where are you taking us? I mean, probably to the authority. Or not yet, probably to them. Well, Margaret tears over as she looks at and reads the information on the way to control. She smiles at the information as she sees, and looks by a dying as she says, I will tell you, but you will be able to see it yourself in a few seconds. Your eyes are hope and darling. Darling, yeah, darling. It's nothing dangerous though, I assure you. At least, not usually. That's for me. After being told that, Larry looks for smuggler in the direction they have been flying, and it's wartime. What you see below the laser-like barrier of the platform they are standing on is a pyramid-shaped structure starting to emerge from the clouds around it. Many of the glowing balls of light float around it and travel in various different directions. Oh wow! Somebody said in sudden awe. I should have done this too. David, you must wish to get up and see this for yourself. He looks down at him. You can open my mouth to help you see. Your offer is appreciated and accepted, the replied. But he does so, noticing that he sounds much better than he was at the start of his journey. It makes her smile, but she's also confused. Why he came so fast from such a similar bad state not long ago. The body in a mysterious place. Within his world, Sam floats up using his own body on himself, and stands on top of his third back, by facing the direction they ought to be flying to. Larry knew, reaching up to her left wing, to pull down her pit hat. With this, she presses it to her chest and moves her hand. Closes her eyes and makes the wing a silent prayer, before opening her eyes and looking back at the approaching city, with dying and steady focus on the loop, while entering to her mouth and back on her hand. A city.
Yep, a city in the sky.
It
It might be a little bit clear why she called some others the Earthbound Below.
Yeah? Why are you so small?
You have a chance to put. No. It's not that. Okay.
No, it's more a technological advance, but
You know what, though? It's similar. Actually, the inspiration I had for that place they're going to would be from Chrono Trigger, 12,000 AD. I think it was called Zeal. The Magical Kingdom of Zeal.
There you go.
Hand painted, interesting.
I guess for the scale.
Cool.
Just to make it sure, this has been painted by Nicola on the island.
On the author's note in the next chapter, I even have the music for that city there. Anyway, what did you think of this chapter?
I'm wondering how they are not no, something definitely noticed that Halloween is not talking. And shaking her head. Shaking her head.
Yeah, he was very quiet, then he shook his head, and then at the end of the he's suddenly fine.
Yeah?
That could kind of go over Stormwing's head, like, huh? You could just imagine question marks floating above her head.
At least not
He
an
bounced back.
exclamation mark.
He bounces back fast. That's
That's like
good.
nothing.
And now Derpy's caught up to the situation too. She was unconscious for like most of last chapter and most of this one,
I would
but they've
assume
explained.
that was like almost an hour.
Yeah, and they explained to her what she's missed so far, so she's kind of up to speed now.
I mean, we don't know how long they have been flying.
Right. But whatever it is, it was established in the story they were flying very, very fast.
So I was right, this is a separate place, very much so from the planet down below.
Right, but not as high as the station that Dr. Kelly's society used to live in. That was an artificial moon. This one at least is on the planet, but in the sky.
I mean, at the moment.
Right.
For all we know, it can just fly up into space,
Or
go down.
crash down below, if it has anything to do with Zeal Society. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but there you go.
Or even different change.
I would say
The,
this chapter
the
brings.
geofront, who can literally think underground.
Neat. That is cool.
It's usually up there, and when nature occurs, it goes down. It is from
Like the
now
main points here is they're just getting to know Margaret Wessel and learned a little bit of information about her and therefore a little bit of the society that they're on the current world. So there are some sentient talking beings in this world, at least from her. They might not be native, but they're here anyway. And then the other conversation was with Crystal Sage. It was discussing the option about learning the Magi Gem spells. And there's also the proposition of going the other way around. Teaching Dr. Kelly traditional unicorn magic.
Yeah, broadening the horizon. And that's a good thing.
Right. And that also established that there's a potential method of communication between Dr. Kelly and Featherwing besides using the wind.
I was thinking another way is slowly making up.
At this point, you could probably get an idea why the next chapter is so large. They're going to a whole city worth of activity.
I actually quite like Margaret for now. Because, as I said, she has the personality of Elizabeth, even though more cohesive, it seems like.
Okay. So you like how excitable she is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Elizabeth was one of my favorite characters in PC, so...
Okay.
We may see how much she goes for the protocol. Because if the author decides that, no, you have to hand them over.
Oh yeah, this chapter also confirms the name of that spirit is Trouble.
Yeah? I mean, we knew it is Trouble.
Yeah,
Trouble.
Trouble herself did not make it that clear. She did say it, but they wouldn't have noticed that one of the sentences is capitalized.
Yeah, I am Trouble.
Yeah, she did say it in her own way. And she is Trouble. Whenever she's around, Trouble comes a-knocking.
Yeah?
So yeah, again, what did you think of this chapter?
That's fun. But once again, if they started doing this thing with downloading the essence of the gems right now, I'm pretty sure that the essence would go off in the shape that they are on.
That could have some future potential too. If not this story, then maybe another.
Yeah.
Maybe someday it'll be required for Featherwind to interact with some kind of magi-like computer, or for Dr. Kelly to cast a spell when her gems are taken away.
No, it's like in the games when the game is notifying you that now you have unlocked the possibility to use lockpicking. Do you want to learn it?
Based on what's described here so far about the Chaos Space, do you kind of agree that they do kind of resemble their Grim?
No.
Okay.
Yes and no. The
Then why
difference in
yes?
the
Why yes and no? You may have different excuses for each.
this chaos creatures seem to be created by Summer. For me, no.
So probably less malevolent then, and possibly more intelligent too.
They actually have a purpose other than destroy everything.
Hmm.
The game has no meaning other than destroying everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even the human, they were created by the last god to destroy the things that his brother, the last god, created.
Anyway, the way they're worded here in this chapter, it does indicate that they are problematic, severe enough to form an entire military culture around him.
Would you say they are trouble?
Right. And the military was a recent formation. The authority was made within 50 years.
Yeah, we will see how they think about the newcomers.
Consider this too. If that military unit was formed in the last 50 years, and it's kind of suggested they're the first to do that, that means there was no military for this society ever before that. They are the first.
I mean, before that, there was only harmony, right?
Yeah, that's the other factor you can look at, is the conditions the world has introduced them to. For the most part, a lack of necessity for a military unit until this trouble came a knocking.
No, I would say Tomo was not the one that caused it. Tomo was getting stronger. But we know Tomo is getting stronger by this harmony. And forming a military force that is stirring up trouble, literally is stirring up trouble.
But you do agree that she's probably the cause, right?
No. The police are the cause of Tomo being stronger.
Ah, okay.
It's the other way around.
Then do you at least think that Trouble was using the strength she gained from the ponies in order to create these creatures?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
She's using the power she gains to gain more power.
Right.
Basically.
That basically how Draconicus works. And the main evidence of that is when they attempted to do the opposite and started using it to be normal and harmonize, their powers got weaker. So it does stand to reason why they generate more chaos, they actually could get stronger.
And this is why the Chronicles cannot sing.
In fact, that same episode also proved that. Well, Discord was getting weaker because he was trying to be normal. When Fluttershy started behaving chaotically in his home, he was gaining his strength back.
Yeah?
It would also indicate it doesn't have to be him to cause the chaos. He could still get stronger when someone else does it. It's very likely why he was able to break out of his stone prison when the Kitty Mark Crusaders were fighting in front of him. it's like food to these creatures. That sounds like an initiative or a program. The Chaos Protocol.
I mean,
Rated
probably
X.
no, even the Magi might have that. The authority.
Possibly. Anyway, do you have any more predictions for that society they're about to go to?
Sadly, my prediction is that the authority will want the hooves of the newcomers because they might be potentially dangerous. They want
So
to
you
get
think they'll
all
react-
the information out of them.
So you think they will be cautious or at least interested in the newcomers?
It's literally either they are gonna join them as an ally or they are gonna get locked up in the jail.
Okay.
And that is
Well,
why, and we may have to learn the controls.
Right. It might help.
So he can open up the cell from inside.
Another thing that was established in this chapter is that knowledge of those spells that she has in her coat all can be downloaded into that one crystal that Crystal Sage has, and Featherwind has.
Yeah, that gives us a lot of capacity.
Apparently, yeah. While the other gems on Dr. Kelly's person is more specialized. Like each crystal is doing one spell or function of some kind.
Yeah, but they are not that rare crystals as the red one.
Basically, yes. I mean, it depends what spell they're casting from. Dr. Kelly mentioned that too. The stronger the spell, the more rare and complex the gem would have to be.
Yeah.
But if you go, that means the same thing the other way around. You make some simple cantrip spell, then almost any crystal could do.
Indeed. I mean, I told you that in my RPG session I had a gem mage. So,
Right.
it literally came with the same thing that, the higher price tag is there on the gem, the more you can put it in.
Right. So Dr. Kelly basically had the class that you roleplayed. And I had some characters like that too. I even called them Magi.
And we would probably call the red gem the chaotic gem, which has almost unlimited amount of storage.
Are you talking about the same gems like in the Sonic universe?
No.
Chaos Control!
We are doing chaos control right now with someone.
Right. Alright, so you want to end this up so you can join your friend? And I guess we're doing this tomorrow again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And today I'm gonna finish up that short chapter, short part of Hunter of Justice.
Cute dog too, but you already knew that.
That was being on my lap.
I do not remember the dog's name.
She is Lucy.
Okay.
And the other one is Lula.
Both L's. Okay.
But yeah, thank you all for being here. And see you next time. Bye bye.
See you next time, and thank you for reading.